Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another session. My name is Daisy, and this is Growing with Daisy. On this channel, we talk about our growth journey in the hopes that it will inspire you and inspire other people to grow along with us. So, we've been reading the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and in yesterday's video, we talked about chapter 1 and chapter 2, and our take home was a part of whatever you make is yours to keep. Now, going on to the next chapter, chapter 3 and chapter 4, we are faced with what the author calls the 7 cures for a lean purse. The 7 cures for a lean purse. And the person in the story who is doing the teaching, and well, the author actually is telling us that if we follow these 7 steps, it will help us to grow wealth and to live a comfortable life, a good life, so to speak. And speaking of 7 steps, it kind of reminds me of the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps. I know I keep mentioning Dave Ramsey. It's because I have learned so much, I have grown so much as a result of being exposed to his teaching. And I'm hoping to be featured on the Ramsey Network one day. Fingers crossed. Anything can happen. But anyway, back to our book. So this is the book that we are studying. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. If you haven't gotten your copy, you should get one now. Okay, subsequently, I will do an audio reading of the book and record it so you can listen to it maybe when you're going to work or stuff. I'm not being paid for this. It's not a promotion. Nobody's promoting me. I'm just sharing with you the things that I have learned in the hopes that it will help you to also become a better person. Okay, so let's dive in. All right, so the 7 cures for a lean purse as outlined in the book The Richest Man in Babylon. We're going to start from cure 1 and walk all the way down to cure 7 in this video. It's going to be a long one, but stick with us. I'm sure you would enjoy it. Okay, so the very first step is to start your purse to fattening. Yeah, start your purse to fattening. And the tagline is, a tenth of whatever you make is yours to keep. A tenth. Now remember in the previous video, when we talk about chapter 1 and chapter 2, the author, the richest man, told his friends that the secret to building wealth is when you decide that a part of all you make is yours to keep. So now he's specifying that that part that you keep should not be less than a tenth of your take-home pay. Now, I'm a believer, so I pay my tithes. I pay my tithe as faithfully as I can. Some months is much more difficult than others. The Lord is helping me. So I pay my tithe as frequently as I can, and that is 1/10 already. I am working, the debt snowball in order to be debt free very soon. So yes, I reserve another tenth of my take home pay to deal with debt. So that's 20% already. So now I save 10% to my high yield savings account, and that is 30%. Why do I use a high yield savings account instead of just my normal regular checking account? Well, it's because in my normal bank account, no matter how much I leave in there, the bank gives me a token of 1.5, maybe 2% per annum when they're filling up to it. But I use a fintech. We'll talk about that app in subsequent videos. My viewers here in Nigeria and in Africa generally, we'll talk about that app in subsequent videos. But why do I use that app to save? Because on the FlexiSave, they have different packages. Well, on that particular package, I used to save my investment money. They pay me 1.1% monthly. It's about 13% per annum. So whatever I place into the account, at the end of the month, they give me 1.1% of it. And the beautiful thing is the account is on auto reinvest. So the next month they give me 1.1% on what was in there. That is my original money plus whatever I added to it, plus whatever interest they added to it. And so my savings is, earning a little on the side. We'll talk about that. So yes, so that's my 3%. Tight debt investment savings. I've already settled my okay. tight debt investment savings. Now, for those of you who do not have a buffer fund, what they call an emergency fund, you know, your 10% should go towards building your buffer or your emergency fund first before you think about even using it to invest. Now, if you follow the Dave Ramsey's principles, you're supposed to save $1,000 as your buffer fund. I live in Nigeria. $1,000 is half my take-home pay annually. You can do the math, so there's no way I'm saving that. So I actually tailored the baby steps to suit my current reality. So I instead saved up 1 month's pay as my buffer. So I have that 1 month's pay in a high yield savings account where I am earning 1.1% interest on it every month. That is 13% per annum. So I have already done that. So now the addition I am saving, that's what I'm saving now every month, is to plan towards doing an investment. So that is where my wealth is going to be built from. So remember, the first cure is to start your purse to fattening by ensuring you retain 10% of whatever you make monthly. Now, the second cure for a lean purse is to control your expenditure. And this is where the idea of budgeting comes in. Now that you're saving 10%, you have to find a way of living on the remaining 90%. For me, that means living on the remaining 70%. And the only way to do that is to create a budget. This budgeting thing. Okay, so this is how I went about it. What I did was a friend of mine gave me a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. And for the first 3 months, I tracked my expenses. I tracked how much came in. I tracked how I spent it, where the money went to, how much I spent on food, how much I spent on gas, how much I spent on electricity, how much I spent on, just everything. It was a very detailed spreadsheet. My friend is a nerd. That's not a bad thing because, the nerds will inherit the earth. So, yeah. So I did that. I did that for 3 months. And after the 3 months, I was able to say, okay, this is my spending pattern. So now I could create a budget based on the 70%, a budget that can actually work. Because if you don't understand your spending pattern, whatever budget you create, you can't work it. You can't pull the budget out of the sky and work it. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to tailor it to your present realities. And that's what I did. And I'm kind of working on budget now. It's becoming rare for me to, go above my budget because I'm kind of sticking to it. So that's working. So the second cure is to control your expenditure. Build a budget, stick to it. Right. So now the third cure, and this is an interesting one. The third cure, and let me read it the way he wrote it. Make thy gold multiply. The author says, a man's wealth is not in the coins he carries in his purse. It is in the income he builds, the golden stream that continually flows into his purse. So yes, so that's where we are. So we've worked our budget. We have our 10%. We've saved it for a while. There's a funny story in here when the richest man, Akkad, was talking to his friends about how he eventually became wealthy. And he told them that after he had saved 1 year's, saved 10% of his income for an entire year, he took the money together and he made an investment. He handed the money over to a blacksmith who said he was going to buy jewelries. And of course, the man got swindled because that is not his area of expertise. And that was how 1 year's saving, poof, gone. And he had to start all over again. So when it comes to investing, I am not giving you any investment advice. But all I can say is ensure that your capital is preserved. For me, I use an app. I just started investing, so I use an app. And on that app, it's the same app in which I have my high yield savings account. So in that app, you can trade stocks, you can buy mutual funds and stuff like that. So that is what I am doing at the moment. I invest my money in federal government saving bonds. It is the safest investment that I know of because I am not a pro. I don't understand the stock market. I am still learning. I am still growing. I'm not a business person, not really. I have tried to have businesses in the past, and each one of them have flopped. So I don't think I'm a very good business person. But I must find a way of making my gold multiply. So I started with the safest investment I know, which is the federal government saving bonds, and I intend to, as I get more money in my savings, I intend to try other things. I try mutual fund, try stocks, and to invest in a friend's business. Then we'll split the income and stuff like that. So I am actively looking for ways in order for me to invest my savings so that I make more than 1.1% monthly. And we'll see how that goes. So that is the third cure for a lean purse. Now, the fourth cure for a lean purse is also part of that. Is also part of that because the author says it is guard thy treasure from loss. So the author writes, guard thy treasure from loss by investing only where thy principal is safe, where it may be reclaimed if desirable, and where thou wilt not fail to collect a fair renter. So basically what the author is saying and what I am practicing right now is safe, risk-free investments, almost risk-free investment. And the safest investment that I know of in Nigeria is the federal government saving bonds. I am not promoting it, so it's not investment advice. So I'm just telling you what I have done with my savings. And when I bought my first bond, the first month I subscribed, it was at 17.1%. And this month's subscription was about 16.7%. So you can see it's kind of dropping, but it's still kind of safe for me because I know that my capital is safe. I know that when the bond has run through its process, I will get my money back in bulk. And I'll also have 17% per annum for the next 3 years, which will be paid into my account. So that's something. So I know that I will keep doing this for a while until I find a better investment vehicle. So that's just me. I'm just playing it safe. So find somewhere to invest your money. But the first thing you must think about is not how much profit you're going to make from it, but how to secure your principal. Because let me put it this way, if your principal is secured and you're earning a little on top, it is way better than a risky investment that could either make or mar you. Now imagine if I took all my savings and I put it in a meme coin and it just drops. I'm not against meme coins. I'm not against cryptocurrency. I think they're great investments. I don't know anything about them though. So I did not even have the money to start with it in the first place. But now that I do, I I still don't know much about it. Well, maybe it's something I'll track eventually. So I put my money in the safest investment vehicle that I know. It is safe. The returns are not sexy. They're it's not even meeting up with the inflation rates. But my capital is secured. I am learning how to invest. And pretty soon, I will be making moves, in stock market and mutual funds and all that. Daisy is learning. She's growing. She's growing. Okay, back to our topic. The fifth cure says, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. And here the author says, own your own home. Okay, this one is it's desirable. It's a long-term project. Okay. Now in Nigeria, we do not really have strong mortgage system. So most of our everything we do is on a cash basis. We want to buy land, for example, we will save up the money over a period of years. And then when the money is available, cash at hand, we go and we pay for it. And then we spend another maybe 3, 4 years putting up the building, depending on how much cash you actually have at hand. So my idea is to open another savings account, another high yield savings account, and pay a rental into it with the hopes that in a few years it would have accumulated to the point where I would be able to pay for a piece of land. Right now, I don't have accommodation issues because I have a paid for house, a very tiny apartment, but it's all mine. I don't pay anybody anything for it. So, but if you are still paying rent, you should actively think of ways to raise money to buy a quarter of a plot, half a plot somewhere that's not too expensive, and you know every month you put aside something towards building, 50,000 here, 20,000 here, 10,005 here, and before you know it you will have pulled together funds in order to build your house, and you'll be safe from these our landlords that will wake up in the morning and just increase rent by 100%. We see it happening. I'm not saying it's ethical, but that's what we see happening. So you have to do all that you can in order to own your own home so that you are not at the whims of one landlord or the other. And you can also turn your own home into an investment. Now, let's be frank. I don't think a home is an investment because it doesn't put money in my pocket unless I am renting it out. But if I am using the living room of my house to do, to do my videos and to train, and it's bringing me income, then my house can be said to be an investment, and that investment is bringing me income. I mean, and that's how I think anyway. I'm not saying that's how it is, but that's how I think. Okay, back to the book. The sixth cure is to ensure a future income. And this is where investments play in. Investments, investments, investments. Now, in our time, we are fortunate enough to have systems in which we can invest our money and put it on lock for several years, 10 years, 20 years, knowing that when we're older, we can have access to it. So if you're fortunate enough to work somewhere where you have access to the pension fund, please, please, please always fund your pension account. Don't think it is money being taken away from you. It is money that you are sending into the future to ensure that you have a future income. So, you know, max your pension fund, do other investments, do long-term locks. I know that there's some federal government bonds that you can lock your money for 10%, for 10 years, 15 years, and it's at a fixed rate of 15 to 18% per annum. Like no matter what happens to the economy, you're getting fixed returns. So some people just lock their money for 10 years, 20 years. There's some insurance packages that they sell. I'm not very familiar with them, but there's some insurance packages that they sell that can also act as a source of investment, for your future. I advise you do that. Or if you're one of those old-fashioned people like me that are planning to build a house so that we can sell it when we are old, for stuff like that, you could also do that. But plan for your old age deliberately, and don't think that, or rather, don't expect your children to, spend their money on you instead. Like the Bible tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So you should also leave an inheritance for your children's children by planning your future income now. Don't leave it till tomorrow. Plan for it today. Right. And finally, we come to the seventh cure for a lean purse. The seventh cure for a lean purse is to increase your ability to learn. Yes, and this is my favorite cure because mine is elastic. The more you know, the more you can put into practice. So you've got to increase your ability to earn. And you do that by learning new things. And that's what we're doing here on this channel. That's what we do on YouTube a lot. We are here to learn new things so that we can grow and earn more. I don't want to earn what I earn right now for the rest of my life. Of course, I want to earn more. So that means going back to school, getting my master's, getting my PhD, moving on to a better job, starting a side business, learning how to invest in stocks, learning how to invest in the stock market, mutual funds and all that, learning about crypto, learning how to run a business, all these things just to ensure that when I am older and I can no longer work, I would have laid aside enough treasures to take care of me and to take care of my grandkids. Because my son is on his own, he will make his own wealth. The wealth I'm leaving will be for my grandkids, for those babies. So yeah, so those are the 7 cures for a lean purse, according to the richest man in Babylon. And I hope you've had fun along the way. And this, it's a funny summary, but I hope you've had fun and I hope you've learned something. And I sincerely hope you put what you have learned into practice so that you will grow spiritually, mentally, physically into the person that you were created to be. So until next time, bye.